What's up, Menopod? Welcome to another episode of the Menopause Movement podcast. I'm your host, Dr. G. Today, we're talking to Yanick Séïde. Yanick is a certified life coach and a certified ketogenic nutrition coach with Masters of Adult Education. She possesses extensive experience in human resources. Her professional journey took her from communications operator in the Navy, language teacher, conference interpreter and translator, resources consultant, where she handled the official languages, employment equity, and diversity portfolios in Canada. From there, she moved to learning and organizational development, where she was a learning consultant and finally was in a management position. She also coordinated mentoring programs in different government departments where she worked. She was a mentor for the Lieutenant Governor's Mentoring Program for Women in Leadership. Her personal and professional experience gave her a great understanding of how one is able to rise above adversity, handle life's challenges from a woman's perspective, and it equips her to help her clients through the obstacles they face. Her aspiration is to empower, motivate, and help her clients attain their goals to become the best versions of themselves. She has recently retired from her position in the government to pursue her passion and started her coaching company, Chrysalis Women Empowerment. She offers life, career, and ketogenic nutrition coaching, empowering women to become the women they are destined to be. Now, Yanick joined our Meno-Mastery Academy in July of 2020. At that time, she had been contemplating a career move for over 10 years, and she's going to talk about it today. As a result of the action steps she took as a Meno-Mate, Yanick not only lost 52 pounds, but she quit her corporate job and started her coaching practice, because it's never too late, you guys. Yanick achieved what she previously thought was impossible, but she started with an investment in herself. To join us as the next Meno-Mate, simply get in contact with us through the little pink bubble on the bottom right of every page at menopausemovement.com, or send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook at Dr. Michelle Gordon. That's DrMichellGordon. The Menopause Movement has one purpose: to help end the suffering caused by menopause through transformational education and coaching. And we want to help you too. Getting into the driver's seat of my life was the first step I took to overcome the changes and the challenges I experienced with menopause. But I did it alone, and it was super lonely. The Menopause Movement has created a community of women who are unapologetically deciding to become their best selves, one small action at a time. You can achieve what Yanick and so many other women have when they took that leap of faith and invested in themselves and started taking action. Join our community and start to create a life you love. Just hit that pink bubble at the bottom of the page. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Yanick's big fears about joining the Meno-Mastery Academy and what was holding her back, how to improve motivation, regaining control of her body and her symptoms, how she was able to find purpose and take action toward it, rediscovering herself, finding the courage to make change, and how it felt when she finally took action, feeling empowered around controlling her menopause symptoms, sleeping through the night, and how that helped her improve her decision-making process, finding joy through following her passion, the cost of not being aware of her limitations. At the end of the episode, visit menopausemovement.com/blog, where you can find the show notes, plus the links to the books and resources mentioned in the episode. And if you enjoy this episode, be sure to leave a written review, like and subscribe on YouTube, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, so you're always the first to know when each episode is released. And let me know who we should have on the podcast and what can we do to make it better. I really want to hear from you. So send me an email to Dr. Gordon at menopausemovement.com, or again, DM me on Facebook or on Instagram at Dr. Michelle Gordon, DrMichellGordon. Thanks so much for being a part of the Menopause Movement today. Now let's get to Yanick. So, Yanick, welcome to the Menopause Movement podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
How do you say your last name?
Okay, it's like Séïde.
Séïde.
Perfect. There's accents on the E and umlauts on the I, so that's how it's pronounced.
Right. Séïde.
Perfect, yes.
Séïde.
Séïde.
So it's like a schwa E. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So, Yannick, welcome to the Menopause Movement podcast. I'm super happy to have you here today. And you joined our program. You joined as a Meno-Mate back in July of 2020, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And tell me where you live.
I live in beautiful Nova Scotia, Canada, on the East Coast.
Nice, beautiful. And what do you do for a living now?
Well, now I'm a life and career coach, but before that, I was
Hmm.
an administrator. So I left a corporate management position to start my career practice, my coaching practice. And I've enjoyed the Meno-Mate is one of the factors that propelled me into this new career.
So, a major career change
Yes,
in the middle of your life.
a big paradigm shift.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, before you decided to join in and invest in yourself as a middlemate, what would you say was your biggest skepticism or hesitancy?
For joining the group, the program,
Yeah, yeah.
not knowing what the outcome would be necessarily, but I was in a position where I didn't know what to do. So I had tried many things before and I had not met my needs, and I was afraid I would have the same outcome. And
Mm.
fortunately, it was not. But that I would say it was the fear of having the same outcomes, meaning not having resolved my issue or understanding what was
Right.
going on with me. Yeah, yeah.
So you said your biggest skepticism before joining was uh, not sure that you would actually have an outcome, whether it was worth it for you to actually enroll.
Exactly, because I've had tried other things and I left more discouraged than before, and never getting a solution to my problem. So that was my
Okay,
fear of experiencing this again.
sure.
But
What else? What else did you try?
oh well, first basically you go see your physician, and then I went to see naturopath, and then I talked to other women who have tried different things and share their experience. It's mostly anecdotal, And
Mm-hmm.
I find that as the time progressed, I was feeling worse, and because I had not reined in what was causing my symptoms. And what I found is that no matter where I was, it's more like, this is a rite of passage, and this is what's going to happen, and just put up with that. You can
Mm-hmm.
you can take this medicine or this herb, but there's more to it. I knew
Mm-hmm.
there was more to it, and I had not found it. So I thought, well, if you want to resolve an issue, sometimes it takes a few tries. So I'll try it
Yeah.
again, but not bringing my hopes up. However, it was the opposite from the time I
Well,
started.
yeah. Let's just break this down for a second before we go into your awesome results. Um, when we feel discouraged, like it's so easy to have like an all or nothing kind of attitude and say, I tried this, I tried that before. It's, especially like when it comes to weight loss, because it's so easy to gain weight and it feels like it's so hard to lose it, right? When it comes to trying to believe in ourselves, right? Sometimes we have to take that risk of that leap of faith. And it sounds like that's what you did was you were like, I'm not sure this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. So what were the factors that actually helped you to, take that leap of faith that made it worth it for you to actually say, I'm gonna try this and see.
Well, it's funny you talked about weight loss. I was gaining weight for no reason. I was eating healthy,
Hmm.
following the food guide. I was physically active, and whomever I was consulting was telling me, "Oh, I don't have to teach you anything about nutrition. You're eating healthy." So
Yeah.
why is this happening to my body? I didn't recognize myself, and I was feeling. It felt like I was in a different shell. Like I would look at myself, and I said, "That's not me," and I would walk and avoid a mirror, and I'm going, "What am I doing wrong?" And at this point, you reach a point of desperation. And I thought, I have nothing to lose right now. I'm not sure where
Yeah.
it's going to go, but I cannot continue on this path, not having resolution and actually feeling worse and gaining more weight. This is what the more I was trying to lose weight, the more I was gaining. It just didn't make any sense. So you reach a point of desperation and say, okay, I'm going to try this now because nothing else has worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you were feeling desperate.
Yes.
Now, when you joined, right? What was the first thing that made you say, "Oh hell yeah, this is right. This is right for me"?
Well, when I was in the beta, it's just the little bit of tidbits of information was eye-opening because there's a correlation, and the big thing is correlation with what you eat and how it affects you. So that was never really discussed. So I went, oh, and I applied it. I went, well, wow, okay, I need to know more. And but once you have a little victory, you want more. And I was the first victory in a long time. I'd say probably worked on it for 5 years and nothing, and worked hard and not getting the results. And here very quickly I saw a change, a little victory, and I felt better, and it was encouraging. And I cannot leave it there. I need to know more.
Got it. So you got a little victory in our beta course, and then as you got the little victories, you started to see that maybe there was something here.
Yes, that was the first time I saw there was a light at the end of the tunnel. There was something I could see results. I said, well, it's the beginning. You have to keep going and see where it's going to take you. Not knowing where I was going to end up, but I liked wow, the little bit difference, and I felt. I said, well, we have to go and see where else this will take me. Yeah, so that was the deciding moment.
I love that. Okay, and so after joining with the Meno-Mates and being a Meno-Mate for a while, tell me about what changed in your life in terms of perception or life views or relationships, or all three.
All this, how you perceive yourself affects everything else in your life. So the symptoms of menopause that they were affecting me, I didn't realize to what point until around that time. I could see I'm not myself. I'm more short-tempered, and I was known to be a calm, easygoing person, and I found I was more short-tempered. Even the pets noticed. You could tell. Mommy's not happy. I could see the change in behavior in my relationship with my children and my husband. Yeah. And I went, this is not how it was. This is not how I want to be. So that's where I was. And also, especially, I cannot speak for men, but women, we attach a lot to our physical appearance. So I didn't like the way I looked. And I had to buy new clothes, and I didn't really like, just so it would fit me and feel comfortable. I wasn't myself anymore. I couldn't be the real me. It was more a compromise. Okay, well, I'm that way, and I'm shaped this way. This is what I have to wear, and this is what I have to do. So I was not happy with how I saw myself, and it also affected a bit of my self-confidence. Silly enough. Okay. Self-doubt.
So you had a lot of self-doubt, and so what you've been a Meno-Mate for just over about 15 months or so, right?
Yes.
And so tell me, what specifically has changed about your, say, self-perception or self-doubt?
I regained control of, as much as we can say, control of my body. So that was when I'm a person who needs to see results. So okay, then I felt better about myself. And also, I don't know if the pandemic was part of it, and the exercise that we did with you, the introspection. And I was thinking about it, but I realized who I was. I was regaining myself, and I saw that my purpose had changed, and I had since found my purpose. It was always there, but now the fear of, as I've gained more confidence because I felt better in my skin, I just rediscovered myself, and my sense of purpose was clearer to me. And and having to take a leap of faith, you need to have self-confidence. So when you're not yourself, when you're kind of broken, you can't do that. You cling on to what you know. And make a long story short, it's just I just went for it. I knew in order to be happy, that was the next step that I need to do. Scary. I'm not saying it was easy. It was scary, but I had the confidence to make that leap of faith. And I remembered who I was because I had done it before, not to that extreme. And I went, why did I wait so long? Thank goodness I went to the exercise. I recaptured myself. I reined in all of that I was. And it's almost like the sky opened. It's just, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like, I have to go do this. The same way that I thought I need to join the Meno-Mate. I went, oh, no, Yanick, you need to move there. You have to move forward. And that's when I decided to leave my position.
Okay, so you left your career. So let's I'm going to come back to that, but what I want to ask you is, was there any particular aha or lesson that you got initially from the first, say 3 months in the program?
The 3 months in the program,
the first
3 months, it's to understand my symptoms, what triggers them. I learned what they were, and it was not just in my head. It was not something I had to put up with like I was told to. There was a way to attenuate that, and I went, wow, because my philosophy until then is that, hopefully it won't take 20 years, but this is something I have to endure. And that didn't make me happy, but it's almost like I had to resign to endure. And it's one thing, as you said, suffering is an option. It's optional. I went, yes. I think I even told you I don't have to suffer because this is what I was taught. And knowing that is like, okay. And I just ate it up. I just wanted, and I was very excited in learning the next step, into the program. And then I saw the result. It's just like, whew, hallelujah, it's happening. Why didn't I have found this before? Get out of my misery for so many years. It's like, and to feel myself again.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. I was me again,
Yeah, well, it's a big it's a big complaint of women in menopause who they just don't feel like they're themselves. Their weight gains and the body shape changes, and then there's this whole mood thing. And so for you, you said you experienced some of that. And how long had you been considering a career change?
I'd say in the back of my mind, probably around the same time the symptoms, probably before that, I would say, let me think, about 10 years.
Okay. And what was holding you back from making that change, would you say?
Well, it's the comfort, the fear of the unknown. Okay, I had gone back to school, did my master's, and then I got a new promotion. I got the big job I wanted, and I was doing things, and I said, okay, once I finish this, once I pay this, and once I finish the Meno, I will do it, and I realized it was just a safety, a life jacket, because I was not totally myself. Didn't feel confident. Okay, so I needed to have the safety valve, a safety cushion to make the move. But I felt really doubtful. I doubted myself. A lot of self-doubt. Yes, I want to do it, but I did have all these buts. And it had to do with my self-confidence. When, getting up in the morning to get ready for work was a chore. Because I had to face myself in the mirror. Right off to start my day. That's how I felt. So when you don't feel good about yourself, your confidence is low. Who am I to do this? I'm not going to make it. So all these self-talk was going on. But looking back, you're asking me the question, but it was quite a while. But as time went by, the less assured I was to make that change.
As time went by, you you became less and less, you were more stuck in your ways, right?
Yes, I'm thinking, oh yeah, it would be nice, I will do that, but you go back to default. Yeah, so I was not moving forward. And self-doubt had a lot to do, and that's because I didn't feel good about in my skin.
Right. And so what role would you say that becoming a Meno-Mate and doing the work inside the Meno-Mastery Academy played in helping you find that confidence to start to explore new changes in your life?
Well, the first thing is we were able to share with the other Meno-Mates, and also the discussions we had on coaching call. I realized I was not, flippy. These things were real, and they needed to be addressed, and there's something that could be done about it instead of being discarded. So that was very reassuring. First of all, I said, okay. And I realized, and I found out I was not the only one who felt that way. It was not Yanick who was the problem. Thinking, because I had this self-talk. So that helped a lot. And the introspection, I forgot the name of the exercise when we did the visualizing and all that, and the coaching call, and you ask probing questions, and I went, yeah, why not?
Yeah, so we did this really great exercise on how to kind of visualize the life you want, and it was really powerful for everyone who attended, and all the women who attended that started to make changes, and anyone who joins our program gets that as a bonus, so you can start to really figure out what your purpose is. Can you just give me a specific example of a breakthrough or an aha that you had as a result of joining this program?
There's many aha. Okay. Well, first, the symptoms, there was something you could do about it, so I did not have to tolerate them, and I experienced it for one thing I've learned, for example, I like my glass of red wine once in a while, and we talked about it, and then I had it, and I went, ooh, I had hot flashes, not instantly, but shortly after that. And then I experimented with the food we had discussed, and I went, okay, that's a trigger, so I know. So that gave me, I felt empowered, because I said, well, if I do this, it's a choice, but I know what will happen. It's not hoping for the best that, Yanick, a sense of control. Definitely, that was a big win for me. Also, like I said, the community is to see that other women were going through the same thing. And I think the openness, because the people I know in my personal life, although this was virtual, I never had that sense. It was more like a pity party, just put up with this, versus here we were sharing our experience, we were sharing with what worked, what didn't work. We were encouraging each other. That really strengthened me. That community was very useful. That was a turning point for me as well, because when you're stuck in your mindset, of despair, it paralyzes you. And every time we had our coaching call and going through the lesson, the modules, I felt better, and that's when I realized where I was when I started is not who I was, and I was the me was emerging again, and from that I got the strength, the confidence came back, and the rest is history. And I'm surprised at myself talking to you now. Yeah, this has been the path, but I'm not sure I would be here and doing what I'm doing now, coaching, if I had not joined the Meno-Mate, seriously, because I was at a point that it was more not defeat, but you just I cannot think in English, the French wants to come out here, but defeat and acceptance of it is what it is, and and I was almost going to give up at the life I thought I could have, because I was tired also.
So you had a dream to leave corporate America, or corporate Canada,
yeah,
Canada, but to leave the corporate world and to do something on your own, to start your own business, or and to help people in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
But the person that you had become through menopause was not the person who could actually take that step.
No.
And so you joined our program, you did the work, and you were able to make a change. So can you just talk a little bit about what specifically you changed?
How I changed? But first, I had to change my mindset.
Okay.
My mindset, because to remember, you create the life. You are the reins, right? So you create the life you want, and that's one thing that was discussed. So that was clear to me. So I realized I couldn't pursue what I wanted to do by keeping the status quo. I could not be in two places at the same time. So I made the decision. Well, I had taken some training in between, just before and after doing that. And I realized, no, I have to invest the whole me to achieve what I want to do. So that was clear to me. And I made the big decision to leave my management position, just like that.
So you quit your job.
I quit my job, all the benefits. I quit my job. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
That's a huge leap. I mean, that's a huge leap. I did the same thing. I mean, I had a really successful general surgery practice. And when I realized that I could reach women and that I felt a lot better in my life because of it, because I did not like managing surgeons, and I didn't like going to a hospital every day. And and that's like, the pinnacle of surgery. I mean, the pinnacle of medicine actually is to be a surgeon. And I was just like, I hate this life. I really hate this life. And I had to come to grips with the fact that I'd created a life I hated. And so I was able to, quit my job and make a plan and come in full time with the Menopause Movement. And it's stories like yours that make it so, worth it to me, because, I'm not the only one who created a life they didn't love. I mean, here you are, and you did that. And what you've done is you've been able to leave that job that may have been, I don't know if it was soul sucking, but that's how I feel about my surgical career, and start something and helping people.
Helping is the big work, because I had, and this is it, I felt like I was being suppressed being me, because I like to help. My background's in education, so I was always able to do this somehow, and then I volunteer working with women's group and so on. But I thought, it's funny, you're innocent, your naivete. I'll say, okay, if I'm at this higher position, I can affect the changes and really help. And that's not what it was. It was mostly administrative and red tape, and I could not practice my craft, and I could not... what I thought I could bring and do was impeding. I could not do it in the position I was in. And I tried, and it was sucking my soul, the life out of me. Because what my purpose was, I could not bring it into the position. So I was almost, I'm a stubborn person. I said, no, I'm going to make it happen. But what was happening, the analogy I use is like Don Quixote against the windmill. And the windmill kept hitting me. Boom, boom. And then not feeling confident, you almost feel like it's your fault. I'm doing it wrong. And so there was, and having one big thing is that the clarity in my brain, I don't have all this brain fog, which was a contributing factor as well, because you self-doubt, and then your brain is not functioning. It's just like it was almost like a perfect storm. So I needed to stop and then take stock and do the introspection, and that was through the Meno-Mate, definitely. I did all that, and I went, you know what? This is not working. I can't do this. Took a deep breath, signed my resignation, pressed the send button. But once I pressed that send button, before I could feel the anxiety around my throat, and once I pressed it, it was like, exhale. And I went, okay, where do we go? Well, I know where to go. Just go do it. Have your plan. But it was a relief also. Although scary, but it was a relief. And now, once I made that decision, I'm happy. Every morning I wake up. look forward to the day instead of waking up, having to face myself in the mirror to get ready for work and be Don Quixote. So that's gone. That life is gone, and I am where I need to be.
Sometimes just taking action. I mean, I like to say that action breeds clarity, and sometimes just taking an action, like for you, just, having a conversation with yourself about, well, what is it that I really want? And oftentimes we have to look at what it is we don't want in order to start to see what we do want. And so you start there, and then you took this action of, okay, I'm actually going to do it. And then all of a sudden it's like the world opens up when you actually take that, you find the courage to do the hard thing. And the hard thing for you may have been to actually move forward and resign, right?
And my son, who lives on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. He's the baby. And he's very close to me. I have 2 daughters, but they always were encouraging me, and I said, I can do it. And when I made that decision, he called me. He said, what's going on? He could hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
I had no idea to what extent not living the life I want had affected me. But he didn't see me. He did not have the visual. He said, Mom, what's going on? And I told him, he said, I'm not surprised. He said, Mom, I hear it in your voice. So that's when I knew I did the right thing, although scary. But that was another aha moment. You don't realize, if you're not yourself, if you're not happy with yourself, if you're not happy in your life, how it affects every aspect of your life. You don't realize that. You think you're in control, but no. And as after I made the decision and I talked to people and some close friends, and they say, I can tell we got Yanick back.
Wow. Yeah, it's just like life can just like come and just like put layers on top of you and just push you down and push you down and push you down. And then finally, once you start to see, oh, I can come out of it, it's almost like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like you're really depressed, but you were just like kind of going through the motions, right?
Yeah, resigned. You resigned to the existence. I don't even call it a life. You resign to that existence. Yes, I make a good paycheck, and yes, I can do this, but, so I say where I was in existence versus now it's a life. That's the difference.
And how much weight have you lost?
52.
Since you joined us?
Total 52 pounds.
Wow, in the last 15 months?
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes, so...
And I mean, how hard would you say that was, like, in terms of, like, once you made your decision, what was the biggest, let's talk about it this way, what was the biggest factor that allowed you to make those changes that you had, because, you don't lose weight without changing your behavior, right? So what was the biggest factor that allowed you to make that decision that you were gonna do the things that you had to do to lose 52 pounds?
Well, I didn't feel, there was different symptoms that were coming in, and I don't like to only take prescription. Sometimes you need prescription or surgery, but I'm going, this is natural, and I'm doing everything right, and why am I gaining weight? And then when I found out what foods were causing, because I was eating healthy, but there were other factors. Some of the foods that are inflammatory, that are high carb and the sugars, even though, so cleaning, and the different food choice, although they were healthy, some are eliminated, and I discovered the one that were affecting me. And, if after 5 days of doing this, you don't feel tightness in your knee, why would you go back? Okay. So that,
okay. So you changed your diet and started having less pain. That was the first thing that happened.
And it's never come back. And then, and I'm not exercising more than I did before. That's the funny thing. I'm not doing any more, but I could see the result, and it just kept. And I didn't realize how much until I started to measure and weigh, and I didn't realize that. Or I would put some clothes, and I went, oh my gosh, I can't wear this. I'm walking and I'm losing my pants. My husband was making fun of me. And I went, you're losing, but when you see results like that by putting a pair of pants that was your go-to business pants, and it's falling off you, I went, oh, okay, let's go on the scale. Wow. Because I know the numbers are not enough being an athlete for myself, even when I was a skinny mini, I was much heavier than people would realize that because of the muscle mass. So I don't get hung up too much on the numbers. It was the whole physiology, morphology, but my body was not looking right. So that's when I really got upset. It was not just the numbers. And I was looking at the numbers, but then very quickly, at one point, it just seems like everything went, I don't know why. It was an increment, and then at one point, I don't know if the machine was moving faster, but there was this big change, and that's when I realized, my body's changing, and I was and then I said, it's funny, let's look at myself in the mirror. And I went, okay, it's not too bad. Versus ugh.
Right. So instead of like putting away the mirrors like I did, or avoiding the mirror, you can look in the mirror and like what you see now.
Oh, I can use the full size mirror now, which I would not before.
Awesome. So
after that, it was a motivator. First,
I love that.
The tightness in the knee was gone, and I would go to So the proof is in the pudding, you say. The fact that 5 days of removing the sugars and the heavy grains for me worked. So I tweaked what was.
But it worked in terms of, for you, it started with how you felt. And as you noticed that you were starting to feel better, then you found more energy, and then you were able to make other changes in your diet.
Energy,
right?
Exactly, the energy, because, like I said, when you're feeling defeated and then you're going through the motions, it was also feeling tired. This is why you give up, you're tired, whatever, you just go on. And there was this surge of energy that came back.
Yeah.
So, I forgot to mention the surge of energy. And another thing that was big is that I could sleep. Just hit the pillow and go to sleep, not having to do exercise to go to sleep. Go back, hit the pillow, and I wake up the next day. And I feel sorry for some of my friends who wake up 3 or 4 times a night. I don't have that anymore.
So tell me, how long after joining the program were you able to sleep through the night?
I'd say maybe 2 months, 2 months.
So you made so the thing that I love about this program is it's like small changes that don't feel like a lot, but they pay off big. And that's actually what I love about it, and that's what I love about what happened with me and how I made those changes too, right?
And you don't always realize it until maybe somebody mentioned it and say, "Oh yeah, I've not woken up, or it's 6:30. This I don't remember." And I would say something. I don't remember falling asleep. When you have problems sleeping, you do this, and then eventually you fall asleep. And now I'd say, I don't remember falling asleep. I just remember waking up. Oh, that feels good. And I was hoping it would continue. It was not a one-off anymore. It is the norm now. So I sleep. So if I don't sleep, I'll be very worried. Like the night where I cannot fall asleep, I will get anguish. Because now my norm is I hit the pillow and I go to sleep and I wake up. I don't even need to set my alarm. I wake up. My body gets the rest it needs.
So let's talk a little bit about, you made this change, and so let's talk about following your passion and what that means to you.
Well, passion brings me joy. And I've always felt like that in any other positions I had, and that was gone. That fire was gone. That spark was gone. And now, just thinking about it, I feel exhilarated. It gives me energy. And the only thing I can say is that it's too bad that I waited so long, but it's in the past. I'm not going to dwell on that, because now I have a client, and she had an aha moment, but it just brought me joy. It brings me joy, and it's a great feeling. It's kind of addictive,
right? I mean, those of us who are in this industry who, help others through coaching or through education, it's the reason why we do it is not for money. We do it because we have this desire to help people. And we got to pay our staff, and so we got to charge for things. And also the other thing about charging is that when you pay for something, you're going to pay more attention to it. And so it's really important that we have some sort of an exchange. But when people like Yanick come and tell me, hey, I lost 50 pounds, or hey, I'm able to change my career now, and I like myself and I can sleep through the night. These are the things that light me up and make me want to do it more. And so for you, I would say probably, I'm going to just say you probably feel the same way.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, you get addicted to it.
Yes. When I
Yeah.
had this aha moment with my clients, it almost brought tears of joy, when I said, okay, stay
Yeah.
calm. But I was excited for her. I was just so happy. And yeah,
Yeah, I
it's a
bet.
feeling I had not had in a long time. And this is, like I say every morning, I don't dread, I look forward to what the day will bring. And every day
Uh-huh.
is a good day as a whole
Yeah.
because I feel a sense of my purpose, but my passion. I found my purpose in pursuing my passion at the same time. They're not synonym, right? You have a
Hmm.
passion, but you have a purpose, and I found my purpose, and I can exercise my passion through it. So how good is that?
I love it. That's great. Now, what for somebody who is sitting on the fence and thinking about joining our paid programs, what would you say to them?
What would I say? Okay, so you sit on the fence. What are you afraid of? What do you have to lose? Are you happy where you're at now? Do you know what to do about it? Why don't you give it a try? Yeah,
Yeah.
what do you have to
Yeah.
lose?
And would you say that it took you a lot of time every week to consume and do, make the changes that were recommended every week?
No, considering the kind of job I had, working 10, 12 hours a day, I still found the time. And I made it a priority. I would carve some time, but it's not daunting. It's easily
Hmm.
done. Um,
Yeah.
to my surprise, and that was my fear, not to find the time to do it. There was
Yeah.
maybe weeks where it was a bit harder because I was traveling, not traveling, but well, because we were in the middle of COVID as well, right? So
Yeah.
we were, and I was in the education, managing schools across the country, so it was crazy. So some days were harder than others because it was demands, but I always find time. So it was not a
Hmm.
stressor, and I was always thankful that I did take the time that because I invested. It's an investment in yourself. It's an
Yeah.
investment in yourself,
Yeah.
and I said I have to be true to myself because it's about me. And and when I would do the module, I listened. I said, I'm glad I did this, and then I would implement it. And I think this is the attitude we have to have. It's an investment in ourselves,
Hmm.
and nobody else but us can do it. So, but it's if anybody says it, they're busy women, they're busy career women. Yeah, that's fine. But you will find time. I just didn't watch Netflix as much because I invested in me. You can find the
Mm.
time. So yeah, see it an investment in you and your well-being and be
No,
your
that's
true
great.
self. Yeah, I highly recommend it because it's every time I would do a module and learn a little nugget, get a little nugget from it. It's like, oh, it's there's been so much, but to me, it was comforting, especially having gone through so many years and not knowing what to do with myself, and
Hmm.
having.
So
Yep, sorry.
when you compare the life before you joined as a Meno-Mate to the life you have now, right? Would you say that the changes that you've made through these last 15 months have seemed like really radical, or did they seem kind of gradual and easier?
It was gradual. I think it was gradual. They were being put in place, but I didn't realize it was continuous. It was building on each change was building on the other,
Yeah.
and then it's like, yeah,
And have you learned how to handle setbacks in a way that is manageable?
setbacks in my physical.
Let's say, let's use diet for an
Hmm.
example, because it's, every women in menopause want to lose weight, and it's so common that we have this idea that, I'm on a diet and I'm not going to have any sugar, and then, oh, ice cream. And then we have the ice cream, and then we think, okay, well, I've failed the diet now, and so now I'm going to have pizza, I'm going to have hamburgers, I'm going to have French fries, and all the other things that are going to make me feel like crap. So how do you handle your setbacks if, let's say, you
Well,
cheat on your diet, for
well,
example?
first of all, I see it as a lifestyle, so I don't use the word diet. So that was the first
Okay.
change because if you think
Okay.
diet, you're thinking temporary. Okay, I'm not there to go build muscle just for a competition or something like that. It's a lifestyle, right? So we're human. We do slip. So, for example, there is my birthday. My youngest daughter had a birthday party for me to celebrate my retirement and my new career. Well, she had this beautiful lemon. She had things done, and there was a key lime cheesecake. It was mousse. It melted in your mouth. I was not gonna have it. I had a little piece, and I said, "Well, it is what it is." But tomorrow I'll just be mindful of what I eat. Like before, I would have beat myself over the head. Oh, I cheated. Blah blah blah. No, it's done. Tomorrow is another day, and we reset it. So I don't cling on to mishap or oopsie moments. I change my mindset. That's very important, because if you start beating on yourself, it just perpetuates, and you can find yourself sliding back. And it's not just about eating habits, about anything. We're fallible. We're human beings. So you had a bad moment, you ate something you wouldn't eat because, I said, okay, I eat that, I'm going to have tightness in my neck and my back's going to hurt. This is what happens when I eat grains. I know that. If I make it myself, I know how to make it, but I had that piece, that's fine, I move on. Or, and then what are those setbacks? If you make a mistake, you did something wrong, you didn't mean to do something or say something to someone and went on, it wasn't taking it the right way. Well, okay, oopsie, sorry. You do better next time, because it's in the past. You can't change that. So that's one thing I've learned. It's in the past. All I can do is control what I'm doing now and what I'm going to do next. So that's what I find helped me. Because trust me, I've had my moments when I slipped.
Sure, everyone does. Was there anything else that you were hoping to share that we didn't get to?
Trying to think. There's so much I want to share. Well, definitely what I could say is that I am here today, the way I am now, is, try not to get emotional here, but had I not joined the Meno-Mate, I don't think I would have had the same path. I'm not sure what I would have ended up. All I can say is that it was not very positive, and I might have become a bitter person, not satisfied with life, and then just going through the motion until you retire. That's probably where I might have been, because this is where I was headed. I wanted to do things, but I didn't feel like I could, didn't have the confidence. I realized I'm in the center of everything that affects me. And I had to take care of myself first, and everything fell into place. My relationship with my children, relationship with my spouse, how I perceive myself, and also how the world sees me too. And I had not realized how some people saw that I needed to make a change before I did. And I didn't know that. The people who really knew me, and they were holding their breath. And also, I realized I was not really ready to receive any advice they would have had for me, because I was not in the right mindset. So I realized it's all connected. It's all connected, and looking after number one, they say, is the most important thing, because if you don't, nothing else works.
That's great. Well, Yanick, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me I don't have a website. It's about to be published, but you can reach me at Chrysalis Women Empowerment.ca. That's the website. And I have an email, chrysaliswomenempowerment@gmail.com.
Chrysaliswomenempowerment.ca?
.ca, that's the website. That will be published soon. Great. And until then, my email also is chrysaliswomenempowerment@gmail.com.
Chrysalis Women Empowerment. Yanick is on a mission to help empower women, and let's help her do that. Yanick, thanks so much for being a part of the Menopause Movement and coming on the podcast.
Well, thank you today for having me.
Did you know that menopause is not a medical condition? Most doctors don't know this either. I like to say that menopause is the privilege of a long life, and to really take hold of our lives in menopause, we have to unlearn what society and the medical establishment has told us about menopause. Thanks so much for being a part of the Menopause Movement.